Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom, aka The Butcher, and today I want to talk to you about Yakuza Kiwami. This is my review of Yakuza Kiwami. So what is Yakuza Kiwami? Basically, Yakuza Kiwami is a remake of the original game on the PlayStation 2. It was just called Yakuza, and this is a direct remake of the first Yakuza game on the PlayStation 2. So what does it feature? It features, of course, better graphics, a completely new engine, and it's in 1080p 60 frames per second. The original game on the PlayStation 2 was dubbed for English territories, and it had English voiceover, but it was really bad, and it just didn't fit the game right. Yakuza Kiwami features Japanese, original Japanese audio track, and of course you have subtitles. And I think this is much better than dubbed. Um, a lot of the acting in the Japanese really comes through in its original language. So, what's the Yakuza Kiwami about? Well, it's about a man called Kazuma Kiryu, and he's in the Tojo clan. Basically, after a certain event, he takes the blame for something that he didn't do, and he spends 10 years in jail for the murder of his boss. And yeah, I'll just say it, he didn't do it. So, after he's released, he discovers that the Tojo clan and his best friend Nishikiyama have really changed dramatically. His friend Yumi is missing, the 10 billion yen is missing, and every single Yakuza and some other political factions are searching for that money and searching for Yumi. And yeah, basically it's a great story. It's written very well, and it's also been expanded on from the original game. What I think about the story, I think, basically I'm a huge Yakuza fan. I've been a fan long before the Yakuza series even got some traction here in the West. But yeah, I love the Japanesey stuff. I love the Japanese culture. Basically, you really have to be a fan to enjoy. But a lot of people will be coming to Yakuza Kiwami from Yakuza 0. Yakuza 0 is also a prequel. So Yakuza Kiwami really makes sense story-wise. If you played Zero, you can jump in Kiwami without any problem. I personally think that Yakuza 0 has a better story, a bit more coherent story, but that's not to say that Yakuza Kiwami has a bad story. It's a good story, it's okay, I like it, but yeah, in my opinion, Yakuza 0 is a better game and it has a better story overall. But that, like I said, that doesn't mean that Kiwami is shit. You really should play Kiwami. So yeah, let's talk about gameplay in Yakuza Kiwami. Basically, Yakuza Kiwami consists of exploration, combat, random brawls, sub-stories, and yeah, it's a JRPG, so you go into town, you explore stuff, you talk to people, you can follow the story if you want. A lot of the story has, linear sections where you just brawl, but there are also some exploration stuff going on, talking to people, going to cabaret clubs and getting information or whatnot, doing favors for other people. But yeah, it's okay. Um, they've implemented a new system, which I'll talk about just a second. Let's talk about the combat for a little bit. Combat is basically, I would say that it's an im- it's a beat 'em up, but with a little bit more skill involved. Basically, you have four styles available. The three styles are straight from Yakuza 0. That's the brawler style, that's the rush style, which is fast, and there's the beast style, which is slow but deals an extreme amount of damage. But There's also a fourth style in Yakuza Kiwami that's called Dragon style. This is where we get to Majima Everywhere system. Basically, everyone loves Goro Majima. If you're a fan of Yakuza, you've probably heard of Goro Majima, and he's probably one of your favorite characters in the Yakuza universe. So, they've implemented a system called Majima Everywhere, where a random brawl with Majima can pop up everywhere in the city, and each time you fight Majima, your Majima rank goes up, and you get certain points that you can invest in Dragon style. Yeah. And speaking of combat, there's also one more new thing added into the combat. There are Kiwami moves, which are special moves when your enemy is glowing, I don't know, red or blue. You need to have your heat charged up, and you need to press a certain button. I mean, it's a good system, but sometimes it can be annoying because when the enemy is glowing, when you're supposed to do a Kiwami attack, the enemy regenerates health, which can be pretty annoying, to be honest. Of course, in Yakuza Kiwami, there's sub-stories. Of course, that's an integral part of any Yakuza games. I personally think that I've always been a fan of sub-stories in Yakuza. In Yakuza Kiwami, the sub-stories aren't as wild in like there were in Yakuza 4 and 5. But yeah, there are some good sub-stories. Of course, when you're walking around town, you can get ambushed. You can get ambushed by yakuza thugs. I don't know, goons. Basically, you can have random brawls. You can also play mini games all around the city. You have cabaret clubs. You can chat up the hostesses there. You can even get a hostess to go out on a date with you. So yeah. So like I said, each time you do a sub story or you finish a certain part of the each time you do a sub story or finish a certain part of the story, you get points which you can use to level up your abilities, technique, body, and soul. Of course, in Yakuza Kiwami, when we're speaking about combat, you can't talk about Yakuza without mentioning heat moves. I mean, they're the most stylistic aspect of any Yakuza games, and in Kiwami, heat moves are as great as ever. So yeah, uh, I don't know what to say more about the gameplay aspect of Yakuza Kiwami. Like I said, if you're a fan, if you've played Zero, it's extremely very similar. Yakuza Kiwami is very similar to Yakuza Zero, and yeah, if you like Zero, I'm guessing you're gonna like Kiwami as well. Graphics, like I said, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Everything looks sharp. The textures are sharp. Loading times are really short, and yeah, it uses the same engine as Yakuza 0, and unfortunately it doesn't use the engine that Yakuza 6 is using, but we'll get to see Yakuza 6 next year. So like I said, graphics, they look pretty good. I like the sharp look, the clean look, and yeah, it's a good engine, a bit old, but yeah, like I said, texture-wise, graphic graphics-wise, not really. There's nothing to complain here. Facial expressions look okay. Like I said, graphically speaking, it's a pretty decent looking game. And we've reached the end of this review of mine of Yakuza Kiwami. What can I say? I think that Yakuza Kiwami is a great game. I'm a fan of Yakuza, and I'm guessing a lot of people didn't play Yakuza 1 on the PlayStation 2 system, so this is your chance to play. Combat, pretty great. Gameplay, also nothing to complain. Standard Yakuza stuff. Sub-stories are great. The general plot is also great. If I had to give a score to, I would give it around 9.1 out of 10. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and bye.
いつも優しくしてくれる俺にでも私が言っていたって伝えれば